Alright, welcome back. Today, we're going to be using everything that we learned in our previous videos to put together a full bike. Now, this shouldn't be too hard as Canyon bikes come relatively pretty easy to set up. You shouldn't need anything other than what they give you in their bike box to build this bike. So, let's get started.
Okay, so our first step in this process is, of course, going to be opening the box. Alright, now once the box is open, let's go ahead and take everything out so that we can get the bike out of said box. Now once the bike is out of the box, we're going to go ahead and take the front wheel off so that it is easier to get into the stand, because putting it in the stand with the front wheel on I think is just a little bit too complicated instead of just taking the front wheel off right away. Now once the front wheel is off, we're clearing good to go ahead and put it into the stand. There are multiple ways to do this. I probably chose one of the harder ones, but getting it in the stand one way or another is the only important part. Then following putting it in the stand, we're just going to unwrap all the pieces of the bike, so let's go ahead and get to that. Once the bike is all unwrapped, the next step is going to be to go ahead and take off that front piece of the stem so that we can get the handlebar on. Now once the front of the stem is off, we're all good to go ahead and put on the handlebars, so let's get to it. Once the handlebar is on, the next step is going to be to get that front wheel in, so we're going to go ahead and prep the bike for that by taking out the front axle and the pad stopper. Alright, once those are removed, we're good to go ahead and get that front wheel in. Just make sure the rotor of the wheel is lined up in that brake, and go ahead and put it in and insert the axle again.
Alright, so now that we've got the front wheel on, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and run through the shifting, make sure everything's shifting well. If not, I'll show you guys how to fix that as well.
Shifting through the gears is pretty simple, so let's go ahead and get to that and just make sure it's running through all the gears smoothly and not getting hung up.
Alright, so it looks like everything is shifting well on this bike right here, so we don't need to do any of the barrel adjustments or anything, but I will show you guys how to do that if it is needed on your own bike.
Okay, and with the barrel adjuster, turning it clockwise will help it shift down, and turning it counterclockwise will help it shift up.
Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, the next thing you'd want to do is take all your reflectors off of the bike and the dork disc. The dork disc is this clear thing right here on the back of your bike. So what you want to do is take your entire cassette off and take that dork disc off. I don't have the right tools to do that right now, so I can't, but it's also an optional thing. Some people leave it on because it does protect your chain from getting wrapped up in those spokes. Your other reflectors are going to be on the handlebars and in your spokes. Some of them easier to get off than others. Most of the time you can get them off within 60 seconds. So it's no big deal. I'm going to leave these on right now because this is a Christmas present for my dad. So if he wants those off, I'll let him go ahead and take those off. My job is done here. Everything's working well. Brakes are grabbing, no rub. Shifting looks good, and the bike is all built and all the bolts are tightened. So that is what you need to do to build your own bike when you buy it brand new. Now, if you buy it from a shop, the shop will likely already have it built. But direct consumer brands like Canyon, YT, Commencal, places like that, this is how you would build the bike if you don't want to take it into the shop. Thank you for watching.